What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Poor Man Mods. I've already done a powder coating video before, but today I'm going to show you me powder coating Tonys Turbo. This is a Tomei Arms Turbo. He doesn't want to do the exhaust housing or the center section. He only wants to do the compressor. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And the first thing that you want to do is cover up all... This thing is like making an echo. That's really weird. So the first thing that you want to do is cover up all the bolt holes. There's two here, which I have bolts in. Two here, which have bolts in. And I'm going to cover up this with my special powder coating tape, which is this stuff. It's kind of expensive, but there's a lot here, and it works really well. So I'm going to be covering up this section, which will cover up the bolt holes there. I'm going to be covering up this, and he wants me to cover up this stamp right here. He wants me to powder coat everything else. Obviously, I'm going to cover this part, so nothing gets inside the turbine. I'm going to show you what the taped up product looks like, and I'm going to show you how to clean it, and show you my new powder coating oven, and maybe even how to clean the powder coating gun, because he wants this black, and as of right now, the gun is full of green. I was really skeptical about this tape when I first bought it, but it actually works pretty well. Somehow it manages not to melt in the oven, which is pretty impressive, considering it seems like it's plastic. Okay, now that that's on there pretty good, you can go around the edges with a razor blade. This doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you definitely want to get most of the excess off. And try not to cut your fingers off when you do it. Okay, so as you can see, that's not perfect. There's still some overhang. But that's going to be fine for this application. It's not going to create any kind of line or anything like that. So now, Tony wants me to cover up this stamp here. There. That should be pretty good. Now to cover this up. Last section. Alright, so it's all finished being taped. I'm probably doing this in reverse order because I'm a freaking idiot, but now it's time to clean it. I probably should have cleaned it before we taped it. So I'm going to put some gloves on. Now luckily, because this is aluminum, there isn't any rust on it. All I have to do is really clean the surface of any dirt and grime. If this was a steel product or iron, a lot of times to get, well, really every time, to get a good powder coating finish, you need to sandblast it to get everything off. You can't have any debris, no rust, nothing. But since this is aluminum, don't need to do that, there's no rust, so all I need to do is clean it with this Eastwood pre-painting prep and just wipe her down and make sure she's all good and clean. Now I'm sure sandblasting this would make it better, but I don't think that's necessary. But we will find out for sure. Now Tony claims he used a lot of brake parts cleaner on this, so it should be somewhat clean. This brake parts cleaner is the greatest cleaner of all time. Alright, time to hang this in the cabinet. What I'm going to do, I have a hook here which I put some tape on so I don't scratch the surface in here. But all I'm going to do is poke a little hole in there for this to go through. It will go through. There we go. need to bring this cut up here. Okay. And it's going to be hanging just like that in my oven. Now I'm going to tape over this hole. Just like that. Okay, now whether it's the right or wrong method of cleaning my gun and switching over the colors, I'm going to show you what I do when I clean my gun. So, wear your mask and turn your fan on. This fan has an HVAC filter taped to it, so any powder that's around here gets sucked through it and stuck in the powder. This is just for extra protection. So, I'm going to turn the fan on, blow all the dust off, but I'm going to take out the green and weave it out, and then I'll swap over to the black can. So now I have my air nozzle. The gun is completely clean, and now I can swap over my black can. Now I'm going to clean this lid and put it on the green can when I'm finished. There isn't a whole lot of black in here. Hopefully it's enough. Well, it's going to have to be enough because it's all I got. So now this is ready to spray. I've got my regulator set to, I think, 10 psi. Let me switch this over. Yeah, my regulator set to 10 psi, and we are ready to coat. I'm going to clean my rod up here to get any of the extra powder off the electrode, or the ground rod, whatever. There's a bunch on there from the red. And then hang the turbo. And she's ready to spray. Now I like to check the ground, make sure it zaps, which it does. That means we have a good connection and it's ready to spray. Now is the really tricky part. I completely coated the front of the turbo, but I need to do the back. So I need to lift it up off the hanger and very carefully turn it around so I can get the back without touching anything. There we go. Now I can resume. Okay, so I got the back pretty good. I only have a little bit of powder left, so I'm going to turn it around and use the rest on the front since that's the really visible part, and I'm going to make it look pretty good. Here she is. And this is a new oven, actually. I'm going to lay this down carefully, just like so. And I have the oven set to 425 degrees. And I will come back in 20 minutes after it's cooked. It's finished baking now, so I'm going to turn the oven off. And you still can't handle it because it's hot and melted. So now I'm just going to let the heat out, and I'll probably let this cool down for about another 20 minutes before I actually remove it from the oven. Alright, here is the turbo. The tape came off in the oven, so I didn't have to pull the bottom part off. Let's unwrap this biatch. A little bit of overspray. Here's the moment of truth. This is what Tony really wanted me to preserve. Woo! Perfect. Awesome. This looks really good. I'll get a close-up shot of it, and then hopefully there will be a video soon of us installing this. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you learned something. If you're looking how to powder coat a compressor housing, just make sure you fill all the threads with bolts or cover it with tape. Tape everything off. You don't want powder on like mating surfaces and such like that. And it should turn out pretty good. Can't wait to put this on the car. Thanks for watching.